Hello, hello, hello. It is an active day today, isn't it? Or at least for you guys. Although, I suppose soon it'll be for me as well, since we'll be doing some attacks. I'm Amorph, I make games, you play games. Amorph here, and today we're doing more Artfight. I have at least two ideas of what I'm gonna do. On the screen you have, at the moment before you, a sketch I did for... I want to do a final of two characters in Witch Atelier style. Well, not style as much as the characters dressed in Witch Atelier clothing, because I can't do the Witch Atelier style while I'm on stream due to the limitations of not being able to do what's it called, line art. I just finished my fourth attack of today. You are a machine. You're like what's it called? You know, like on a tank, there's those wheels that it's just like they keep going and turning and turning and turning. Like that kind of reminds me of that, you know? Just absolute, no matter the time or weather, sort of. Very onto it. Admirable. Um, so we'll have two of these, and I might cover them a bit later. Maybe I know we have one viewer who really likes the Atelier, so if they pop in, maybe I'll cut to it. But before that, there's another adventures one that I want to try it, which is animation. Huzzah! My hand starts to hurt because it's getting like intense. Damn. Yeah, be careful. Don't get like carpal tunnel. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I will hide this one below. The attack for this one is just like a cat. I'm using the EX Clip Studio Paints, and the way that I've hidden my animation layers are just in that bottom little corner. Aren't they neat? Aren't they great? Below. I'll turn onion skins on and try to zoom out and hope it doesn't hurt itself. The attack for this one will be like a black cat. But they have mentioned that the person for whom the attack is has mentioned this, hopefully a future game character, and so I wanted to do some animations that I would have done for this sort of thing. This is Homo for Taluli, so I'll write it down quickly on a separate layer. No, wrong. I do not want it in my animation folder. There we go. Let me write it in red. So if it'll let me, it does. Great. Oh, well, that's not an M. That's a patch of grass. Oh, great. Yeah, of course. See. I need to make sure all of my lines come back to where they are so they don't cut across. And then like so. And then it's a bit hard to write in this kind of way. It could be worth it. Okay, and then I'm not gonna write 4, I'm just gonna do that. Wait, you're gonna animate? It's crazy. I did like 3 animated attacks last year and couldn't do no more. That's fair, because it's like, is a lot of effort. But yeah, at least we're going... I hope it's not going to crash it. So far it looks like nothing will crash it. So, I'm excited about that. Plus, it's a simple enough character, so I'm hoping it'll actually be quality-ish. I'm not a huge animator, I can do it. But I wouldn't say that I'm particularly good at intuitively understanding the 12 principles. I can list them off my heart, you know? But like, understanding actually when I'm looking at them is a bit more difficult. But with this, I could get practice. And also, I think they would like it. Oh, right, who the attack was for? And then L, U, and then another L, and then a Y. So, with that established, we can now do the drawing. Should we start with the jump cycle? No, well, actually, in video games, jumps only use 1 frame each. If you're being particularly fancy, they will use a takeoff frame and then will use a land frame, which will depend on your vertical velocity, which Actually, I'll go back to the new layer to explain this because I find it quite fun. Um, because it sounds quite confusing because you're like, oh, you're jumping, that means your velocity is always up. But if you're falling, even if you're off the ground, that means that your velocity is now negative, and on negative velocity, it would play the falling frame. It doesn't do the animations from. You can add animations to them, but generally speaking, it's only a good idea if it's one of those like looping ones with wind in the air, maybe. And even then, it depends on your movement mechanics quite a lot. The way that you code it is very different from like coding the rest of the animations, where you can't do a looping one for it. Like technically you can, but it will look bad when it comes to gameplay feel. So jump should probably be last. In this case, a walk cycle seems like the normal solution. Oh, but then there's so many things they can do with it. They can skip, they can jump, they can do like a quadrupedal thing, but I don't think I'm brave enough for that yet. Maybe like a walk? I think I can do a walk, right? If it is like a cute cat and it is bipedal for whatever reason. Okay, I will risk control Z to erase that head. I will not actually. I will control shift Z and then simply erase it because that is way too huge and that'll spoil my fun. I could even actually just color all of the circles in as I go and then additionally add details to them. Could be an idea. I think I might end up doing that. In which case, maybe even a size 30 brush would be okay. Right. It's a little bit more daunting to color it in because I can't really use straight lines for it, which is a bit of a pain. But I'll try nonetheless and hope that works out. It'll be like very cartoonish looking. Maybe it'll remind of those uncanny like old cartoons. You must start working on the fifth attack. Most of them are revenges because help, everyone's attacks me and I just can't keep up. Of course, I want to revenge everyone, but I want to revenge as much as possible. That's totally understandable. I will say, I have like recently considered you can't always draw the like a bunch of characters in a fruit salad. You know what I mean? It's not something that I'm going to do at the moment because I have surprising trouble drawing strawberries. Mostly because depending on your countries, the insides are a very different color, and that's confusing to me. Because some of them are very like vibrant red, and others are like a beige. So there's that. I can draw the outside of a strawberry well, but like the inside. But you've seen those like sort of memes of characters as little strawberries. Let me like draw it a little bit. If it'll. Oh god, I'm drawing with the eraser brush. That would not do it. Right. There we go. There we go. And then there'll be like some distinguishing features that the character has. Interesting idea. Now, we were wanting to... I wonder if I should make the head like bigger than the body or about the same size as the body. I don't know. Let me scroll down. Where's actually our animation? There it is. If it's 24 per second, maybe I should try every 2 seconds and hope that does something. This is just second 2. Okay, second 3. New layer. We are turning on... Well, actually, technically I should put the in-betweens first. Like the most important ones. It needs to like go up and down, I guess. Oh, this reminds me of the evil times of my animation class. Good lord. I don't think that's tall enough. Let's add that a little bit. I could have just been moving it the whole time. They have like non-frame by frame animation. I hope this will work out as I think it will. Maybe going into it blind wasn't the best idea. That being said, there's a lot of other animations you could try if this one fails. Because we could do a top-down sort of thing, which would look quite a bit different. Come back. There we go. I'm much like most of all, I think I prefer kind of action shots because that's where I believe I can sort of shine. In attack animation, not within games as far as these things go. I have tried it, but the attack animation in games is a very different thing from attack animation in, well, just animation. It requires a lot of stop frames because a lot of the attack in video games is based on like how you want it to feel impact wise, and therefore it's focuses less on adding like unnecessary extra pretty things that are required for animation to look good when it comes to like 2D instead of video games specifically. Uh, is this good? Oh no. Okay, let me. I wonder if I will do it at like normal intervals. Hmm. I have a certain idea, but I don't. Hmm. But then that would be. Hold on. If frame 1 to frame 2 is 1/4, and frame 2 to frame 3 is 1/4, then frame 3 to frame 1 would be 1/4, and then we'll have 1/4 left for what precisely? This is why I don't normally do animation, isn't it? Or, well, do it in a very specific kind of way, where I'm picky. Oh, but we didn't add any squash and like stretch or anything. I guess we'll try to add that afterwards. I'll reduce this to 3 frames so they feel a bit less confused. Hmm. Now we need one more, or will I? Actually, 4 frames might be good. We'll see. Alright, so with this thing, I'm gonna put it in between the two for now, temporarily. Please move. It's actually taking to animation really well, which is strange. Okay, now I need to draw it kind of in between the two. Hopefully it works out. Probably not, but we can always pretend that it's working. Now, why am I using number 20 instead of number 30? That is the question. Oh no, I keep being really impatient for it. Let's erase those extra little lines. This has actually put me in quite a good mood. Because today was one of those days where I tend to be a bit cranky. Normally I wouldn't stream on those days, but we have Artfight, and I am committed. So, with that in mind, and it has risen my spirits, so it feels like not a problem anymore, which is quite grand. Although honestly, I'd personally consider my crankings to be entertaining, if nothing else. Quite so. Oh, okay. I don't like it poking out of this like egg-esque shape we have built for the torso. I don't like the point, so I'm trying to wait for it to change the color. This thing also technically has a scarf, which will be a tool we can use for later, as long as I hopefully don't forget. I won't. That would be strange, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be so peculiar? Now, I've changed back and I can continue coloring in this like bean of a torso. I kind of can't wait to do the arms and legs, because at least that feels, I don't know, maybe a bit more entertaining than bobbing up and down. Don't know. Please, yes. There we go. Okay, now I can move this to over here. Hopefully, moving layer 3 will follow itself. It did not. It actually decided to grow a leg that I did not appreciate. So let us erase it. Like so. Ah, that'll be lovely. Especially if it decides to follow through on the entirety. And it did. Oh, glorious. We will have maybe one more? No, that should be 3, right? Okay, let me put this over here and then see how that goes up and down. Actually, not mad. Okay. Hypothetically, they need like a squash and stretch thing. And also side to side because one leg is moving forward and one's moving wherever. I'm gonna add the legs in a separate animation like group. Okay. When your leg is moving, how will we want to do this? I really don't like using knees, to be honest. Let's try without the knees. Let's try cute, pudgy ones. And then that would sort of go over here. Something about it is not quite right. There we go. Much better. Pudgier too. Hopefully it won't become strange and draw itself over. Although I think it might. It did a little bit, so let's clean that up. That was not particularly good, was it? I might just leave it as was. Once it draws a line, of course. There we go. So this is for when one knee is raised and the other one's about to lift off, which means the next layer, even with onion skins on, which are on, marvelous. I'm gonna put them on every second frame for now so they can maybe sort of pace it. Okay. At that point, this leg becomes folded behind. I really like that you can trace where the starting point of the leg is. I really do appreciate it. Oh, okay. One thing I didn't was the random drawing of the lines in between. It is, well, not quite spooky. I think spookier, but something is to be said about the comfort of the process. And a little bit more of the eraser was that. I really like the people who do like tweening animation thingies. They can be really useful, like as a prospect later for. Sometimes I see like very cool music clips with it, especially if you're like into J-rock and such. That'll be not uncommon. I think my favorite one was there was one song with Miku about like different desserts, which is just very catchy, and especially with the way that they did the twinning animation in it. It's so bright and colorful. Now let's erase one more line where it's not supposed to be. Ah, it won't let us. But a temporary setback. It was something about Mochi. I think it might have been just Mochi. Is the name of the song. I think she was singing about how she really wanted mochi and she didn't want any other dessert. Anyway, but then there's also overlay creators for, well, streams and such things as well. Sometimes they do them for gaming competitions though, right? I don't know. And of course there's just normal animation, I guess. Technically it's all part of animation, isn't it? But there's animator, I suppose, and there's contract animator maybe. I don't know. It's a bit of a thing. Okay, I'm gonna call that like a day. I'm not gonna do anything with these things. Okay, so it is at that point where the leg would be extended, and since it's extended, it would be a little bit lower down here. Hopefully it'll repeat my movement. Well, it sort of did. Not exactly what I asked because it is a bit more triangular than what I envisioned, but it has a point. Now let me try adding like a foot to it. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Okay. That's not actually bad. Let's see how it changes, especially once it decides to follow my instruction. Before, after. I might have to change frame 1 at one point. Taftolog, yeah. Okay, a lot is going on. Let's add one more frame. This time, this over here leg is going to move closer, as it will soon start to trespass into territory of moving in front of the back leg. And this one will start moving further away behind the front leg. That's something it'll do. I wonder what the difference is between like the animated and the non-animated attacks in terms of points, because I never actually like got curious enough to find out prematurely, you know. Okay, it's okay. Let's try. How about I manually flip through them? 1, 2, 3. 2 and 3 are good. 1 has things left to be desired, so I might redraw it later. Great, now that we are up to number 4, we can comfortably say that... Actually, I'm not drawing in the color at the moment, so let me just fix it up. We finally comfortably said that the front leg has moved fully onto being folded in front, and then the back leg is over here. Actually, this reminds me of the animation I have for the main character of like a thing I'm trying to work on at the moment, which is originally... I almost got them mixed up as another one. But they're like a vegetable with legs, like a little carrot. And so they run in this kind of way where they're throwing their legs out every time they're running to the front. And they might be accidentally doing that one, which I think is funny. Okay, let me try again, because the legs here are too thin and it is bothering me. There we go. Let me adjust it once more so that it actually fits the shape of the egg. Good enough. Let me see it actually run through them, perhaps soon. Let's try again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, 5 hasn't come yet. Great. Layer number 5. I guess we would have to kind of, because at this point the back leg could be standing on its tippy toes while the front leg is throwing itself out, which would make the running sequence kind of like a leap. So let's try this. And then once more. And I'll try, I don't know, maybe just drawing a straight line for the next one. I'll see how this does it. Probably not well, but, well, there's so much you can do. Let's try finding our yeah, we need to. Let's erase it. With our eraser tool selected, it should be a piece of cake. Let's keep coloring that in. Today I do not have chamomile tea, but I do instead have, well, it's not quite juice. Technically it's just very saturated compote, which is a, well, let's call it juice for now. Just a kind of liquid that you can make by boiling fruits in water. It ends up quite delicious. I think you also would want to add some like sugar to it and such, but you really don't have to if you don't want to. Now with that, let's see how that hopefully runs, with all the puns intended. Great. Now I'm kind of giving it a time to adjust. Load, I think is the word I was particularly looking for. I'm currently saving Code Studio, which will take it a little bit of time. It's decided that having animation layers is probably more than it can handle mentally. Not physically, of course, it's still going. See, it's quite quite fine. But I imagine if I was a file with 400 layers, I too would get a little bit slow and upset at the fact that there's also animation layers added in now. Alright, if we're lucky, it'll not skip over any animation cells, which I would not consider as lucky, but I think we could try. Yeah, it's not. It's skipping over all of them. Let me pause it, and with its pause, I could try manually run through them. Which I have been known sometimes to do when checking my animations. It's skipping number 2, so okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, is it 1 again? Honestly, yeah, I think it is. But I'm not too happy with the way that I've done number 5, or whatever it is. It is number 5, isn't it? Yes. Let me just erase this toe. Maybe I'd even like... We could have it swap legs over time, which isn't anatomically correct. But also, who said it had to be anatomically correct? It's an Artfight attack, not like a commission or such. Okay, let's... And then once more for the... There we go. Lovely. I wonder if it'll let me. It won't. Well... I'll try having all of them run at like 2 frames at least, because I think that might be helpful to us. I'm currently moving them all, so they can move them to be maybe by 2 frames. If I were to use math, I think I'd have an easier time. But that is granted the math I use is correct. Number 7, number... don't know. How many do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4. Might be good. But not noid lit sinks, which... Let's start with number 1 over here. I'm double clicking, selecting number 1. Praying to the almighty Clip Studio Guns, going over here, double clicking, pressing number 2. Then over here is number 3. And doing it this way will duplicate the layers, meaning if I change it on 1 layer, it'll change it for all of its iterations. And 4. It's missing a 5, which is non-ideal. Isn't it only 10? Oh, why is that 18 instead of like 20 or something? What's the... Why is it? Is it because it's like every 5? But then in that case it would be 15, wouldn't it? No. Huh? So, up to 5, up to 11. I see that problem maybe. Let's move you up over here, and then let's move you down to. Which I'm not certain is a good idea actually. Because that makes our timeline even shorter than this. Well, I think the running itself could have been significantly worse. Now we have 4, we need number 5. We have 20, well, 20 I guess, but maybe 21 can be divided by 3? I don't think so, no. What's the highest to 3 I can think of? There's 4, 5 is bad, 6 is 18, 18 plus 3 is 21, which is 7. Therefore, each one needs to be about 7 frames long. 5 is, so that's 6. This is 7. There we go. Let's move it 1 frame forward. Great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 is over here by frame number 2 reiteration. I'll grab what's called the second shot and put it over here. Now, hypothetically, this should do us good. Probably. So, this is where 14. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, and then that switches. Let's see how that works. Not amazing, but I think that's something we can do our due diligence with. Yeah, I did say the number, although there was the Z in between of them. Z. The TH letter. Truly the bane of my existence. You are getting the harsh Z instead. Now, with it, I wonder if there will be a meme for 68 at one point. That's what I'm waiting for. Honestly. Unless... No, I'm still waiting on it. I was trying to recall if there's have been any historical memes, including the number 68 instead, and no, not yet. But the future is always upon us. So if it's going down, oh god, I'm gonna have to adjust the legs. But before I adjust the legs, I could do one better and draw the in-betweens, which I hate. And therefore I will not be doing any of that, and I will be drawing the head. Or will I? Decisions. Oh, but it also has a tail. I can draw a tail. Ooh, I can draw a tail. Yes, I don't have to decide at all. Life's beautiful. Now, let's select our layers. This will have to go through a couple transitions, right? Let me run through them. By the time it gets over here, it needs to be up and above. I don't know what we're doing for layer number 1. I'm a little scared to find out, so I'm just not going to think about it. But for layer number 2, it needs to be up here. Which I have drawn terribly. Let me erase that. If you have like a tail, there we go. Ish. I know it kind of looks like that of a, what's it called, squirrel, but like, we will make it a cat. It's sad I can't like add a bow to it. That would be so cute, but alas. Now, with this kind of thing, it would... maybe something like that? Let me go through them. I believe in it. No, not quite. What if I just do the opposite? I could... Does my conscience allow me to just wiggle the tail like that? Yeah, it does. I can maybe change it later. We'll try with just 2 frames for now. So let's bush up that tail a little bit. It's not doing a particularly good form at bushing, so we're gonna have to add a few. There we go. Quite a bit nicer. And then connect it. I can deal with that. And I can deal with this a little less, but nonetheless possible. Wonderful. And then let's do the same with this tail over here. It's probably a little bit bushy on the ends. We can't really do it nearly as much justice with it, but we can certainly try. By which I mean, I want it to kind of at least resemble the way that the tail looks top down, which is a little bit difficult due to the thickness of the brush used. Maybe something like so. It kind of looks like a plug for an appliance, which I'm personally not against, but I don't think that's on theme. Let me adjust it. There we go. And then I will do this wonderful thing called repetition. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and then once more 2. Now let's see how that does for us, because I think it'll turn out rather badly. Huh? It is, but in a strange manner. Alright. Or is it? Okay, it's going way too late. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm actually not mad at the tails working like this. I just want to maybe slightly change this one. In this case, in Control C. Then I'll double click to delete this one. Okay, delete. Wait, no, Control Z. Let's delete the entire frame and not just the layer. Delete. There we go. At the top. Now let's add one more. Press Control V in it. And the thing about this one is it'll let me press free transform for this one. There we go. So it'll be slightly let me check. Still having some trouble. Control T once more. Technically the tail starts from over here, so that's where I want to move it from. Right, lovely. Now this is number 5, which means we're going over. Ooh, this number 5 also requires a change. So Control C, double click on the frame and delete it, and making a new one where I will paste it, but it will need some serious transformations. And then maybe with free transform, that would also be good because then it won't be confined to having your size locked specifically to how it was in the original, like the ratio, aspect ratio. There we go. Oh, there we go. Not, it's fine, I think. Yes. Once we add a little bit more bounce in between, we can start understanding what is going on with it. Perhaps I'll change it to once every. Well, I can't do 4. Unless I could. Things divided by 4. 10? No. 5. Yes. And I could do it every 5, but like, not certain yet how I feel about it. Alright, let's come back to the body. Wonderful thing. So, I'm gonna make a new one over here, in which case we kind of need to do the, what's it called? Squash and stretch. Yes. Which I'm currently squashing, but I'm not doing much stretching. I think that's a problem. There we go, let's color it in, and then I'll stretch a little bit more on the other side once it's also done. And looking after a tablet with a screen on is a lot more difficult than looking after one without it, actually, because it gets a lot of scratches over time. I also kind of miss just drawing while looking up. It kind of gives you better posture, you know? Now, let's see that squash and stretch. It did work. Oh, look at how bouncy it's already looking. And then up it goes. Oh, lovely. Alright. With that, if we're going from to up, should we also do a squash and stretch here? Let's... How often do we need to do them? Like every second? I don't know. So this is obviously on the direction up. And this one will be down. Which means, yes, the frame afterwards is where I would be personally, I think. Let's hope anyway. With our hopes cleared. Right, squash and stretch time. Squash has done, and stretch. Alright, let me color it in now. Very carefully. I say, also zoning out. I wonder, can you guys unfocus your eyes? Because that's like the abilities that I have sometimes. I used to call it like artist vision when I was very, very young. Because it would make everything look like those, well, like those blurry drawings where everything's made out of, like most paintings, you can't paint every single detail, and I have very good vision. So, you know, circle of eye and such stuff. So unfocusing my vision, kind of, oh god. Okay, I'm going to erase that entire thing because now I can't see the leg anymore. No, I'm not. Oh, that's horrible. I cannot control that. Well, let's try to just erase. There we go, an improvement. And once more, we will select our color. Hopefully this will be okay. If it's not, that's still practice time. And of course, squish, stretch. We had a squish, it needs to stretch to the top. Let's see. Yes, and then 1 or 2 frames would go back to number 2. I'm actually quite concerned because this one's lowest. It needs to have... I mean, technically the overshoot happens afterwards in most of these, but I don't know. Let's try again. Okay, it is too short. So I guess we didn't need to have that secondary thing in there. Now with that, has opened up a new area? No. Alright. I'm going to try understanding, so that head's moving backwards. Forwards? I think that's... yes. Forwards, forwards. Ah, right, okay. Now let's attempt a new layer. This one will be stretched to the left specifically, so that it can counterbalance for the extended right leg, at least my right, and yours, dear viewer. Right, okay, over here. Let's color it in and hope that does it. Very carefully. You know what, I'm a bit sad actually. I wonder if there's any OSCs that are just furniture, because I would love to draw some backgrounds right now. It's really a shame we started running out of monsters to draw. Also, I haven't been able to find many like artists who are not in my team. I have occasionally scrolled through the random section actually and gotten a few out of there, but when it comes to like you see art, I guess, and then you're like, oh, where's that from? All the time they're from tragedy. Okay, what is, oh, okay, I see what's happening. Great. And then, is there one more layer after that? No. Alright, let me first erase that little bit. Oh, great. And, technically speaking, we should start going down over here. So, new layer. I don't know. I'm trying to work it out. It's a little bit difficult. I'm not quite certain which way the circle needs to turn, the circle being, of course, the main body of the cat. I'm much more excited for the movement of the scarf at this point, really. Mostly because... Actually, just because it's full of color, and I really like colors. Please color in... There we go. And now we maybe, possibly must wait for it to finish its repetition. Alright, let's review how it... alright, so we need to sort of do a halfway point between the merge them, of course. Why didn't I remember that? I did think of it actually, but still. And then, because it's mostly going to the back, we also want to free up some of the front space, which could be good. Let me see. Right. I wonder what that looks like now. I mean, I'm not mad. It's a little odd, but it's otherwise okay. There's some issue, but I'm not quite certain if it's just lagging or if it's the fact that the tail was a really bad idea. Probably more of the latter. I'll try to hide the tail and see how that goes. Let's play. So they've ampled down. I should probably look into doing stuff with the lower ones. Okay, let's try putting a little cheeky layer over here and selecting our black brush, of course. Now we simply must wait. Soon. Yes. Okay, so it needs to be a little bit more forward facing, I think, at the moment, because then it'll rebound back to the left where it is supposed to be. And that should look snappy, probably. Very good. Very good. Now let's see it all overplayed. At this point I might just want to put it on as a GIF and seeing how it works. It looks like a beating heart. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna check all the layers for those finicky little mistakes that it's currently shown me. There we go, that's the one. Let's erase that because it takes away from me being able to understand what's going on. Now let's roll them. I don't know, I don't think it's good, probably. I think it's good. Now let's add another liquid animation layer. There we go. New one. Start is with a layer, of course. Now they're running forwards. They do need to, at one point, have a forward-facing head. When cats are running, which way do they keep their ear? Let's try drawing it. I love how it's sort of Peppa Pig style at this point. Actually, not very much. I thought it was going to end up that way because of the snout, but it did not. Actually remained quite nice. Alright, and then let's color in... I don't actually remember what it was supposed to be. Oh right, the cat ears. Right. Alright. Let's once more. Here the cat ears would be a little closer because the head is more turned this way, and so they must cover each other. Coloring in. Soon will be an issue of the actual ability of the snout. Great, there we go. I'm getting really sleepy though. We do want to make sure that the snout is not nearly as left-turned, or right-turned, suppose? Yes, there we go, and you can see it extending as the head turns. There we go, once more. Where are we going? Right, this time it would be with like the back ears. Oh, it's hard work. Let me be a bit more careful. There we go. Sort of. Let's... there we go. I did think I might have overstepped it a little bit. I want to see what it's like without... I see. So I have messed up a little bit. Just a tiny bit. Let's even it out. Very nice. I had a dream the other day that I went to like a trip in Japan, and then for some reason, out of everything, because there's a translator or something in the dream, for some reason, I have forgotten like my best and favorite and first most memorable word. I've learned words before, but I've forgotten kami, as in like God, and that I needed it for like a saying, and I remembered how to say the rest of it. But for some reason, it was that one thing that I couldn't get the hang of. It's so strange. Alright, now we can turn them back. I would put them back to number 2, actually. Let's repeat number 2. As the head slowly turns. Let's see how that runs. Back, and then back in the middle. And then from this one, maybe we'll go with number 1. I would have to probably move it up though, wouldn't I? Right. Let me see. Yes, I would. At which point is it up? Oh, number 2? Number 3 is completely flipped out. Maybe it is number 2. Number 2 certainly changes. Okay. I'm gonna do this wonderful, cool thing. Control C, select layer, delete it, and then add a new one which isn't linked. Actually, never mind. New thing, Control V, and we can slowly move them up to over there. Okay. Control D. So by that logic, we went up a little bit. Great. I'd actually like to move this one a little bit as well. There we go. That should be nicely. One turning up. Actually, I don't think it's up. I really don't. Maybe even down a little bit. Okay, turning, up, up. Okay, for the upper one, it's still going up. So that would be... Actually, it still is going up. I guess this one. Alright, Control C, delete this layer, and we'll grab a new one. Control V, transform it so that it's about the same height actually, and then Control D so it's deselected. I'm gonna run this through real quick. Right, and then one more after that is... I want to say number 4, but it has to be number 4, doesn't it? Great, number 4, number 3 perhaps? Number 3. I'll take number 3 and I'll Control C, but I won't add it. There we go. New layer, Control V, move it up a bit. There we go. So it'll be a slower transition, like a little bit more smoother one. And there's one more over here for what precisely? Even this one's a little bit. There we go. Now they're all evenly spaced. Alright, will them be evenly spaced? For 3, I suppose. For 3, 2, 1. I'm going to Control C, add a new layer over here, Control V, and flip it up a little bit. There we go. Now Control D, and let's see how it runs. I know what's wrong with it. It's the way the ears don't move from, like going from side to side. They're back, forward, here. I'm going to have to go Control C, of course, delete, new layer, Control V, and the main idea behind it is we make this top ear very, very thick because they're going back the other way, and we take some translucency and we hope that that works out as we try not to get bombarded by Microsoft Edge news. If it'll listen to me for even a second and click off itself, actually. It's usually a little better behaved than this. I'm not quite certain why it is acting. It does not strike joy to me. I wish to see my clip studio, and it is preventing me from doing so. If it only would have done something. But alas. There we go. Thank God. Right. Where were we? Oh, of course. We were trying to use the opacity a little bit. And then tidily, very tidily. There we go. Oh, wonderful. And of course the full cat's face over this way. Why it's going for this long is beyond me. 4. This is not the correct 4, that's fine. 6. I guess it would have to be 3 here, wouldn't it? Let's try normal 3. Or even 3A will do. 3A. Then over here we'll try. Number 5. Let's look at this. Or more like Control C. Let me delete frame number 5 a little bit. Wondrous. Add a new layer. Control V. Of course, significantly lower. Wonderful. Control D. Well, certainly an experience. It's not the worst, but you know. Let me turn off onion skins real quick to see which ones are lagging behind. Normal, 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 normal. That's the one. I'm going to Control C, then I'm going to delete it. Then I'm going to make a new layer, Control V, and I don't think we would need to move it down. Let's see it in action. Oh, we do. Okay, Control T. Let me move it a little bit over here. Marvelous. Now let's see it running. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Hmm. Something's not right with it. Hmm. Right turn. Right turn. Oh, it's supposed to be number 3, but better maybe? Oh, this is so confusing. I'm just going to delete it and make a new one. New layer. Select the brush, select the color. Color also would be nice. Any second now. Truly. And then 2 cat ears. And now I can delete the parts that we do not need, like this one. And once more, to color in the head. Very, well, hopefully very carefully. In reality, it's quite a bit brash. But yes. The coloring of the cat's head is going immaculately. I will have to also draw the swing of the arms soon. The animation itself is, well, certainly animated. Something that leaves to be desired. Still not sure what 3B is. Okay, this thing will have to move a bit lower. Oh, I see. Control C, delete. New layer, Control B, and lower, Control D. Oh, maybe even a bit lower. There we go. You can see it on the timeline below, exactly how it will look in terms of the line of action, which is very useful because you don't have to deal with curves then. They're okay. It's a little bit awful so far. I'm not sure which review to trust. Well, I'll settle with it. I'll add a new layer, last little layer group on top of everything else. And in that layer group, let's add a red scarf. Wonderful. Maybe sounds like so. Great. Number 1. Is there anything new on the next layer? Or is it only every 2 layers? I think it might be. I don't know if it even needs any of that actually. One more. Over there. Let me see where that falls. It does. Alright. New layer. Great. And a new layer once more. And connecting it over here. Which should be good. Let me check it against number 1. Well, let's polish it a little bit. And once more stroke below so that it can look cartoonish. Great. One more. Perhaps I could turn it backwards this way. That seems nice. Next frame. right over here. And then in that case, something more like this would do. And then, we're back to some other nutcases, I suppose. This time it will have to go forward though. There we go. And one more. Great. I will simply have to make a new layer. Color it in. Very nice. And one more after that. Last one was below, so this one must be above. The moment that'll spawn in with the new layer, it'll be right in there. Right over here. Not too bad, not too good either, but it'll do. And one last one over there. Now let's try playing all of them in sequence. Huh. Interesting. Well, this seems like a rather poor walk cycle. Let's edit this one to be a little bit less drastic, because that's what mainly is getting it. Edit that, make the duha a little bit less high. I wonder how it'll feel now after this. It'll feel a little bit lower. There we go. Let's connect it before it becomes a problem. Specifically the erased part, before that becomes a problem. And once more for... I actually like this thing. Let me erase it real quick. Right. And once more. There we go. That should probably even it out. Let's try putting it down a little. Yeah, I can live with that, I think. Let's try again. Not the maddest about it. Which to say, I think this will be good enough for an attack. Is it amazing and wonderful? Perhaps not. But that is simply the issue of our limitations and imagination. Let's try playing again. Wonderful. I might even add a few background parallaxing effects. That shouldn't be too bad. It'll be grand. So with the road itself would have to be like a dull gray. Let's try dyeing it. I'd add lighting to it, but I don't know how that would be overall. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. And once more over here. I'm kind of making a rather dirty concrete form. Control D. Let me see it work. Alright. And then I have this brilliant idea called creating a bordure, or also known as the curve in English. It'll be a bit lighter. I'll dye it first. I'll even dye it a brighter color because that is not white enough. Great. And I can take the lighter gray I'll take this, I'll run through that, so it has an edge, and I'll add a couple points to it, where it will normally scroll. Can I control that, or will that? Oh, it did. That's a shame. Oh, that's fine. Control D. Now we can do this awesome thing. Control C, Control V. And then I will have to move it to like the very edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. And these two can be moved together. I'll even group them. Pressing on this button, we can do animation where they just slide on by. And with that, that'll be number 1. And number 2 will be a movement of it until the last one ends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Now let's see it. A little too far, actually. Also, I don't think it goes 1 for 1 for some reason. Let's ungroup it and see what is up. I know what I'll do. I have a brilliant idea. Let's grab our mirror brush. That is not mirror brush, it's a linear ruler guide. Where's mirror? Figure, perspective, symmetrical. There we go. I'm gonna try drawing over here. With it, we can select, well, not something quite as dark as the cat, but a close second. And that will become, ladies and gentlemen, our light posts. Oh no, I can't control that again. It's okay though. Alright, let's go here. Make them quite fancy. Maybe even a little bit cool. Oh, can't do that. Alright. There we go. Now Control C, Control V. And I have this brilliant idea. Let me make sure it's right in the middle. And let me move this one until it's right in the middle also. Marvelous. So Control G and Control G. I know it'll have something to do with it, but that's for later to figure out. Right, we have one group, two group. Where's the group? Two group down here. Both group 1 and group 2 will have their layers activated. Group 1 will obviously start over here. And then move to... Well, I'd love to see it move further, but alas. Let's shift move it. Oh, it doesn't even need to move like in its entirety. Let me see. Yes, that's pretty good. Now with that, we can move our group 2 over here. And it needs to move to the same over here. Great. Not the most marvelous work, but I think... I have an idea. Let's go to 40. In doing so, I can also copy my... Oh, jeez. My previous layers. I will try to save it for now. Control S. Great. With its magnanimous. Okay, let me control G all of these. And control C, control P. And then we will have to move all of the layers. I must simply wait for it to actually show up first. Which is understandable why it wouldn't want to, you know? It's already a rather full file, but less. Let me close all of our previous ones. There we go. Now let me shift it to over here and see. I see how it goes. Let's open it up quickly and see what happened. Nothing else moved. Of course, let us select all of it carefully and gingerly. I really do miss caramel tea. Now, with all of our lovely things selected, we can move them to over here, which shall continue the walking cycle of this cat. Great follow-up things that we need to keep in mind. Where is that? Over here. This is the trottoir, also known as the concrete. I'll have to move these along as well. And of course the shadow. Now with these, I have to move it all the way to over here. Maybe even, I don't know if it's entirely on track or if I should move it one. So hard to see. Oh, it's because it's no longer moving it properly. Of course. Well, I think it'll be fine. Now within that, let us grab Control C, Control V. And that one needs to be moved. I'll take it out of its, what's it called? Keyframe position for now. Simply so that I could move the third one. I don't know how far it needs to be moved. Let's check. Alright, the file folder needs to be selected. Where is it? I think I'll take it out of the folder for now. Control T. Why is it not showing up? Control T. That is why. Let me go back and drag it again once more. What I'm trying to do at the moment, dear listener, is to move some lighting poles so it looks like an aesthetic walk through the city. Aesthetic? Somewhere in there. It's a little too close. How would I do that? Right. Alright, let's see how that works. Nice. Only downside with it, of course. Okay, one more issue. This over here needs to be brought to its conclusion by the end of it. I have to hide these for now. But let me move this until it can't be moved no more. And then once more we're there. There we go. Now I can unhide them and hopefully that'll do us nicely. It's not, but it'll work. Not world's most amazing walking cycle, but it is certainly a walking cycle. So the attack for Homo is done. Oh, amazing. And we have... I suppose I should get some kind of start on the next one. There's a range to choose from though, and considering how I'm feeling rather sleepy, I should choose those that take less time. Which probably means not the Witch Atelier one. There's one with this awful creature from Star Wars called the Shistaven, which we have for some reason with my D&D group have been pronouncing as Shistavanen for a very long time, but I don't know if that's proper. Oh, this Shistavanen. Huh. Turns it was misspelled in the commission thing, I suppose. Well, with it, we can draw a headshot and then call it a day. I'll hide my animation layers. Life will be beautiful. Alright, that's the old one. I'll try to move it at the top so I don't forget about it. And then one more. Right there. There we go. So, where was it? Right, we're drawing a Shistavanen. They're a bit out there, I guess. Let me try something with it. I'll probably try sculpting the face out and seeing how that goes. If we're lucky, it'll end up looking good. If we're not lucky, it'll end up looking kind of shit, but that's okay. Currently, we're experiencing quite a lot of technical difficulties with it. But all of them are to be expected. So it's nothing that we cannot beat. Wonderful. Once more. Yes, there we go. Now, with that, there's always I'll go into blue over here once it's done coloring in. I would erase it, but I really can't be bothered at the moment. This is where it usually come off with something that's more blended of a color, but alas. We can try figuring something out with the nose though. The nose is sort of like a snout thing going on. And I'll try going for something darker over here. I'll even go a little bit purple. But not dark enough. There we go. It'll end up looking... Oh my god, I have an idea. Lasso tools. I'll still kind of put this on low opacity. Lasso. Oh, this will be wonderful. We can do like a Picasso sort of thing. This one will be in that... Do we even have a darker color yet? No, we don't. It's the great... This is the lighter color. Is that the default color? I'm really trying over here. No, this is the default color. Okay. Let's try something darker, but not too dark. And then... Well, could be worse, but we can definitely deal with it. Control D. Next, on our tools budget. Sort of this kind of position for its head, which will be within its normal ideas of gray. Control D. Next we have this. Let's get a couple of names to it, I guess. I would even want to just do it weird outlines myself, to be honest. Shift to add to it. Something similar to this should probably do. And I can dye it. the entire thing, I suppose. Control D. Now this one had like white hair and eyebrows, so that's what we will also be going with. I'll probably, no, I'll keep that same outline we have at the moment, and I'll try to draw some sharper eyebrows for it. Perhaps I will use a proper brush. Control D. Now with the, what is it called? Ah, yes, the nose. There we go. And then one more time. There we go. Now I could try coloring more of it in. It seems to be working, which is always a pleasure. Let's add a little bit. Ah, didn't work. Control Z. Let's make the brush smaller and then add a little bit. There we go. Much nicer, significantly so. I'll add a brush over here as well. And one more over here. Maybe even to outline it a little bit. And of course, we must simply have the snout. The eyes themselves are a bit out there. I might even go for like a cutesy idea, I guess, if we do something like this. And then all it requires is a very colorful mane of fur. Well, not colorful, it's actually just entirely white. There we go. Something about these sorts of locks to it. They have like this main thing going on for them, which of course we simply must respect. It's a shame that they can't really zoom in further to work on this in that way that they wanted. But we'll try once more. It's almost looking like a coat of arms, you know? Which I think is the appeal. And we try once more. Sort of like a Picasso thing going on. Yeah, I'm not against it. I'm gonna layer underneath to actually veto it in. Wrong color somehow. There we go. Is that better? Ah, it is. Now we will have to maybe if I make it more like a painting of their, because like this character had a kid, right? Yeah, I think that'll do. All right, let's now Control T. I would actually, but I cannot. All right. So with that, we can now use this sort of thing to make like a tablet. And then inside, and then maybe a good old 20 pixels. Let's see how that works. Ah, yes, perfect. Delete, Control D. There is one more thing to take account for, which is that in Star Wars tablets are rarely, I think, this straight, which is what I want to make sure to have non-straight tablets as well. Perhaps I'll even control that a little bit. No, come back. Come back. I promise not to control that a little bit anymore. Lovely. Okay, we're erasing the edges that shouldn't be there, and then one more diagonal, and then one diagonal over here. Now, how should we go? Maybe a coffee cup? I don't know. It's a bit hard to figure out what it is I'm doing with it, just a little bit. Mhm. Now we'll get those, like, the color of the ropes themselves, I suppose, a little bit, but not too much. And the ropes are dirty because they're like some kind of trophy hunter, I was saying. Let me make warmer brown, so there we go. Control D. Simply waiting for it to do the same. Maybe a second now. I'll try to add. I'll try to add a shadow to it, I think, but that might prove a little bit difficult, which is to be expected. One over here, one over here. Wrong type. One more over here, one more over here. Then we can select the move tool, move it a little bit over here. There we go. And then if we grab this thing, we can also select that. Invert it. No, come on. Invert it. Right. Put the base to be. And no, let's just start with straight up black, I think. That would be good. Maybe even red, because it's like a assist thing going on. Maybe I'll even add a few notifications at the top. One more. Control D, actually. Alright, where's our square? There we go. It would have to go over everything, but it can go into like a screen sort of thing. Yes, Control D. And then we draw one more like pen thing, I suppose. I'll even add a little bit of that glow dodge effect. Where is it? Ah, there it is. One more, a little bit. And the inside needs to be a darker red so that we can see that it's glowing. Sort of. I'll try going with like a little bit of off-white glow as well. Almost, not quite. I'm waiting for it to control that. Hopefully it'll actually follow my instructions soon. But who knows? I know what's wrong with it. Doesn't have geometry in it. Let's delete it. I'll delete it from here. Control D. Sort of a stylus thing. There we go. Much better. Now we can color it in. Add another Control D. Well, I would put a square, but I fear that wouldn't be appropriate in this case. There we go. And then that's going to clip. We're going to use a little bit of that paint and apply as the airbrush. There we go. Control D. Yes. And then we can add one more clipping mask layer, which will have like a I think maybe a circle inside it. That should be good. Maybe I'll even add a little bit to the middle, I'm not certain. Let's try it. I think it's kind of enough like a stylus, to be honest. Anyway, we need to label this. There we go. And maybe even color in the arrow. There. Wonderful ways to include lore in these sorts of things. One more actually thing we need to do is add shadow to the tablet itself. So Control C, Control V. And so we're going to dye black. And after dyeing it black, we're going to go filter, blur, Gaussian blur. There we go. I might even be able to move it down a little bit. Now one more for the these. Well, I suppose we can always add another of the correction layers. Where's there we go. I have no idea what the sys symbol is, so I'm just gonna put a triangle on it. And then maybe, I don't know, random. I need to zoom in to do it properly. Shift, 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 shift. And we're trying something over here with the letters. I do not know what this looks like, but we're going to attempt it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. Shift 1, 2, 3, 4. Shift over here. And once more so that we know that this is like either an emergency or worse. There we go, and then we can dye them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Great. And then, actually, there's one more thing that I would like to try within the bounds of this. Where is our actual tablet? Over there. Let's try the insides. What is this? That's what that is. Alright. With that in mind, I'll try and draw like a straight white line through it, but like a big one. Maybe. Control D. With Control D we might even... But it needs to be like either a screen or like glow dodge or something. Overlay? And I think there needs to be a button in the top corner because reasons. Now dried blood is usually like an off color like this. That's even like a little bit fresh, but I think that's okay. My background. I'm not sure where it had like a blood brush, but I do recall we had some. Grass, cloud, car, building, clothing, no. Hatches. Rulers, no effects. Double light is not really it. And we could try with double light. Let me try grab a bigger one. Actually, doesn't even need a bigger one. Yeah, it's not too bad. Sort of. There's some issues still to it, you know? These in particular are annoying me. Because it looks like it's adding color where it should be taking it away. I'll take a actual like eraser brush thingy for a little bit. And then we'll take possibly this other bloodstain and move it. Once I can take over here, right? We'll have to actually take the move tool. Okay, Control D. And I'll also save this one under, what was their name again? No. Ah, there it is. This is Wolfrask. That would be Wolfrask. Wolfrask. Wonderful. They got 2 attacks. One of them was a lot simpler than the other, but it was a nicer scene for lore of the character, and I think that might be appreciated. So, with that, I say we call today here, as I'm quite tired. And then we will see if we come back tomorrow, or if it will be, well, Monday is of course the latest, but the rest depends upon any further scheduling issues. Still, I hope it was enjoyable, and I hope that helped you work on your Artfight. Until next time, have a great one,